Hello, I hope everybody's doing great, doing fine. So today we're going to practice about IELTS reading academic practice. And for today, our reading practice would take us 20 minutes. Okay, so it's around 20 minutes, but the explanation, since I am going to explain, so it won't take me 20 minutes to explain, but for answering of this one in the real test requires you to answer for 20 minutes for 14 questions. That's going to be 20 minutes for 14 questions. And this reading passage is entitled Tikopia. This reading passage has 9 paragraphs. So most IELTS academic reading would have a maximum of 10 paragraphs. And for today, our reading just have 9 paragraphs. That would be from paragraph A to paragraph I. So the type of test that we have is first, true, false, or not given. The second would be labeling of diagram. And the third would be completing of table. So for IELTS reading, it is really not possible for us to know all the words in the paragraphs. So you do not have to worry about it because we can use some strategies or techniques, and one of them is using context clues, which is we would understand the meaning of the word through the sentence that it is in. So now let's go to the first type of test, which is true, false, or not given. Everybody is aware that when it is true or false, the statement agrees with the information given. False if the statement contradicts or opposes the information given, and not given if there is no information about this. Okay. Now, the first strategy that we are going to use is what we call keywords. Keyword or keywords. Now we are going to look for some keywords from the sentence itself. And look for these keywords in the paragraph. And another strategies or techniques that we can use. So the first technique or strategy, the first strategy that we can use is using of keywords. And the next strategy is what we call scanning. You need to learn how to do scanning. So scanning is like a very quick reading of the paragraph. You're going to scan for some keywords or some words. And the next is skimming. Okay, skimming is reading of some thoughts from the paragraph also. So you're going to just quickly read the sentences in the paragraphs. So these are the strategies that are so much important in IELTS reading, even in academic or general. So let's find out some keywords that we have on the first sentence. The first sentence that we have is, scientists like to do research in Tikopia because this tiny place is of great remoteness. So the first keyword that we can have is the action or the doer of the sentence. And the subject of the sentence, which is the scientist. And yes, the action, which is do research. Scientists do research. And the place, of course, that is Tikopia. And the reason, okay, this tiny place is of great remoteness. So we have to look for the subject first, the action, and the place. And once these are completed, and you can find them in a paragraph, so you stay on that paragraph and understand, and that can be your clue to find the answer. So now, the first thing we have to do is remember, scientist, do research, Tikopia, tiny place, and great remoteness. So of course, we have to go to paragraph A first. So in paragraph letter A, we are going to look for the word scientist. So this is scanning. You're going to scan for the word scientist. Now we cannot find the word scientist, and we have to look for the word research, which is we cannot find any. So let's not stay on this paragraph and let's go to paragraph B. So let's do scanning. We are going to scan for the word scientist and let's see if we can find the word scientist. All right, so you just keep on scanning, 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 and once you find the word scientist, you stop in there. Okay, so we are not going to look for the word scientist only, but we are also going to look for the word. So let's go back. We're also going to look for the words research, Tikopia, tiny place. Okay, research, Tikopia, and tiny place. So we cannot actually find the word scientist, but let's look for the word research. Scientist. We can't find the word scientist, but we have synonymous word, which is scholars. All right, so you just keep on looking. And we have the word Tikopia, which is in paragraph A, we cannot find the word Tikopia, but we can find the word Tikopia in paragraph B. Scientists, so we have scholars and pioneers. Mhm. And we also have another word Tikopia over here. And so we have number of trips to the island. And we have observations. So synonymous words are really important. Tikopia. So in paragraph B, we have lots of words about Tikopia. Now let's go to paragraph C and look for some words. So we have this word Tikopia over here. And let's keep on looking for scientists, Tikopia, research, scientist, Tikopia, research. So there's only one we found. That's Tikopia. So we continue, go to paragraph D, scientist, Tikopia, research. Now we can't find any. So paragraph E, keep on reading, keep on looking. We can't find any as well. So now we are using the strategy of skimming and scanning. So we can't find any Tikopia, but we found the word tattooing, which can be very useful in the other numbers. So we can't find any Tikopia anymore. So we are using the scanning strategy. We can't find Tikopia anymore. So we just found the word Tikopia in paragraph B and paragraph C. Therefore, we focus on paragraph B and C. Now, paragraph C, we only have the word Tikopia. And let's understand if this talks about research. If not, then we have to take it for granted and focus on letter B. So while engaged in study of kinship and religious life of the people of Tikopia, Firth made a few observations on tattooing. So this one talks about tattooing. They maybe put record as an indication of sociological setting. All right, so there's really no talking about remoteness and study. Therefore, our focus is just in paragraph B, okay? So let's go back to the question that we have. Scientists like to do research in Tikopia because this tiny place is of great remoteness. So let's find out if scientists like to do research. So since we can't find the word scientist, okay, so let's focus on Now let's focus on here, the word Tikopia. All right, so its people and their cultures have long fascinated scholars. Okay, so fascinate is one synonymous word for like. All right. Okay, so pioneers, they visited Tikopia and wrote about the island. Okay. Uh-huh. So since most of our keywords are found in the middle and at the end of our paragraph, it is advisable to read the first sentences of the paragraph to better help us find some synonymous words, because most of the obvious keyword are found in the middle and at so the small island of Tikopia for many people. Now we have the word small island. So going back to our question, we have tiny place. So tiny place is synonymous to small island. So we found one keyword already, small and tiny. All right, keep on reading. Even is so far away, so far away. So we have the word so far away. This is another keyword. So far away is synonymous to great remoteness. So far away is synonymous to great remoteness. Okay, we found two keywords. Therefore, our answer is in paragraph B. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Scientists like to do research in Tikopia because this tiny place is of great remoteness. So is it true, false, or not given? Since we found two keywords, scientists, which are the scholars, research, Tikopia. Our answer, therefore, is true. Perfect. Now let's go to the next question, which is Firth was the first scholar to study on Tikopia. Okay, so let's find out if this is true, false, or not given. So now what will be our keyword here? Of course, the subject is one best keyword. Firth was the first scholar. Is he the first scholar to study in Tikopia? Tikopia is involved again. So let's go back to the paragraphs. Now, we've known that we can see the word Tikopia only in paragraph B and C. Now, in paragraph C, let's look for the word Firth. So we have Tikopia and we have Firth, yes. Okay, but let's see if this focuses on Firth. Firth is the first scholar to study about Tikopia. So Firth was the first scholar to study on Tikopia. Okay, so paragraph C, it focuses on tattooing. So we take it for granted and focus on paragraph B again. So because this has the word Tikopia, and let's look for the word Firth, which is over here. Okay, so we actually found Firth. So let's focus on this sentence. So, like the pioneers, when we say pioneers, okay, everyone, when we say pioneers, pioneers means actually first. Pioneers is synonymous to first, or the first people, the first on the line. So the pioneers Peter de Leon, Domani d'Orville, and John Coleridge Patterson, who visited and wrote about the island in 1800s, Raymond Firth, this is our subject, is one of those people who captured. Okay, so let's go back to the sentence. Is Raymond Firth the first to study Tikopia? True, false, or not given? The answer is false. Why? Because the pioneers are Peter de Leon, Domani d'Orville, and John Coleridge Patterson. They are the pioneers or the first, and it's not Firth. Therefore, our answer to this item is false. Easy or difficult? It's going easy so far. Okay, now let's go to question number 3, or sentence number 3. Firth studied the culture differences on Tikopia as well as on some other islands of the Pacific. Okay, so we all know that the paragraph that has Firth and his study is just in paragraph B, so of course we focus in paragraph B. Firth studied the culture differences on Tikopia. Culture differences in Tikopia. And not only that, we have to look for this one, study culture difference in Tikopia, as well as, which means in addition, as well as some other islands of the Pacific. So let's look for Study culture difference in Tikopia and some other islands on the Pacific. So let's go back to paragraph B. What does Firth studies or study? What does Firth study? So let's read from this sentence. Raymond Firth, by alluring attraction, as a result, he had made a number of trips to the island and recorded his experiences. So recorded his experiences, observations, and reflections on Tikopia, its people. So we have over here. So its cultures. So he recorded his observations, experiences, reflections on Tikopia, its people, and the changes that have occurred. So does it ever mention about other islands of the Pacific? No, it doesn't mention any. It only mentions that he focuses on his experiences in Tikopia. Therefore, our answer to this item is yes, of course, not given. You're right. It is not given. It is not given in the paragraph that he also studies some other islands of the Pacific. Okay, so far so good. Now we are on to our last sentence. The last sentence is, the English word tattoo is evolved from the local language of the island. So again, the keyword that we have is English word tattoo. So we focus on this word, the tattoo. The word tattoo is evolved. Evolved is synonymous to arrived from or comes from, evolved from, local language of the island. All right, so let's go. So what is the first thing we do? So of course, we go to the paragraph A and look for the keyword tattoo. Yes, we look for the keyword tattoo. So by scanning and skimming, we can't find the word tattoo. Let's go to paragraph B. Scanning and skimming, we can't see the word tattoo. Paragraph C, yay, we found the word tattoo. All right. Scanning and skimming, we found the word tattoo. Not only that, we also found some keywords in English word. Not only that, if we go backward, we have the word origin. Origin means where something comes from. Origin, where something comes from. And if we continue reading, the origin of the English word tattoo actually comes from the Tikopia word tatau. The word for the tattoo marks in general as tau, and the operation of tattooing is known as tatau. Ta being the generic term for the act of striking. Wow. So we found one keyword, which is the English word, and we also have the word origin, which is comes from. Now let's go back to our sentence. The English word tattoo is evolved from the local language. When we say local language of the island, this is the word spoken by the island. So true, false, or not given? The correct answer is true. You are correct. So the local language for the word tattoo, okay, is the word tatau, which we can find in paragraph B. Oh, sorry, which we can find in paragraph C. So tattoo comes from the local word tatau or tau. I hope you enjoyed today's studies, and let's continue answering the next item next time. Thank you and enjoy learning.